Yes.
Very early on, you mentioned the specific article numbers,
Yep.
and what are those?
Okay, for the war crime of legislation is Article 43 of the 1907 Hague Regulations.
1907, and that's
Hague
The
Regulations.
Hague, and that's 43, and for
No.
Geneva?
And the 1949 Geneva Convention, number 4, is Article 64.
64, thank you.
Yeah. So Article 43 requires the occupier to administer the laws of the occupied state. And Article 64 of the Geneva Convention says the penal laws, criminal laws or penal laws of the occupied state remains intact.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I still don't understand protected person. Everyone's protected? I don't, what's
Okay.
it mean to me?
Okay, perfect. No, because this is what this is about. Let's make sure you folks understand before we talk about any type of process to implement. So the term protected person is a title that someone has, okay? And that term protected person came about in 1949 and inserted in what is called the Geneva Conventions. There's about 4 of them, 4 or 5 of them, I think. This one is the 4th Geneva Convention. You got other Geneva Conventions that deal with prisoners of war. This particular one deals with civilians, right? Okay. The reason why they came up with that was because the Hague Conventions of 1907, which used to be 1899, but superseded in 1907, regulated the laws of war. During World War II, what was witnessed was atrocities against civilians by the Third Reich, by the Italians, Mussolini, and by the Japanese in China. Civilians were being tortured. Auschwitz, right? So the countries got together who were parties to the Hague Conventions. They met again in 1949 in Geneva to address that. And they said that there are certain provisions within the Geneva Convention, like number 1 of the articles said pillaging is prohibited. Pillaging is the taking of property from a private person, okay? Pillaging is prohibited. Article 147 of the Geneva Convention gets into what is called grave breaches. So it says, a protected person shall have a right to a fair and regular trial. A protected person has a right to not be unlawfully confined. A protected person has a right to not be removed from the occupied territory to the territory of the occupier. Okay? You have all these provisions there. Okay? And it also says a protected person shall not be murdered. A protected person shall not be so and so. Right? Now, a protected person is someone that has rights under the Geneva Convention. So in Article 4 of the Geneva Convention, they define who are protected persons. And initially they said protected persons are nationals within a country, foreign nationals within an occupied state, but it doesn't include the nationals of the occupier. So like if Germany was occupying Italy in 1951, protected persons would be Italian citizens, and maybe French and Swedish and Norwegian who were living there, but it wouldn't include German citizens. Okay? But in 1999 is when that definition was expanded to include citizens of the occupier, so long as they don't have a direct link to the occupying government. Because the issue really is allegiance and not nationality or citizenship. Now that term allegiance is in the Hawaiian law. Under Chapter 6 of the Hawaiian Kingdom Penal Code on treason, it says allegiance is the fealty given to the Hawaiian Kingdom for those under its protection. And then it says under Section 3 that aliens residing in Hawaii, whether their country be at war or at peace with the kingdom, owes allegiance to the kingdom. So every American who is in Hawaii is subject to that Hawaiian law. That doesn't make them a Hawaiian subject, but it also provides them and affords them all the protections of everyone that they have, that others have in Hawaii, even during occupations. Right? So that's the link now, the allegiance. Yeah. Done? Is that a question? No?
John, you mentioned that you are employed by the armed force,
Yep.
the state of Hawaii.
I get paid by pillage monies.
And a lot of us.
I'm a whistleblower too.
A lot of us have had to fill out applications, whether for bank accounts or employment or whatever. The box that says, are you a U.S. citizen? And out of necessity, we've had to, I hate to check that box, but out of necessity, we've had to do it a few times.
Okay, so let me explain this that I think may help some natives. Okay, because you may not even know you're American. Okay, like for me, I'm an American citizen as well as being a Hawaiian subject. So the way you acquire citizenship is a legal process. It's a political process if you want to change your citizenship, but your citizenship is who you are based upon who you are from, right? So there are three ways to acquire, let's say, American citizenship, which is the same as the Hawaiian Kingdom. First, natural born. So if somebody was born in the United States, they acquire American citizenship. That's called natural born. And if the parents are foreign, like Mexicans, they also acquire Mexican citizenship by parentage. So the child is a dual citizen, okay? Now, you can also become a citizen of America, like in the Hawaiian Kingdom, by applying for naturalization. When you apply for naturalization, you give up your previous citizenship and you take on the other one. An example of that would be Asa Thurston, grandfather of Lauren Thurston, okay? Asa Thurston was the first group of missionaries that came. He applied for naturalization, I believe, in 1946. From that point, he was not American, he was Hawaiian. Sanford Dole. Sanford Dole's parents were American citizens. He was born in Honolulu. He became a Hawaiian subject by birth, natural born. He's a dual citizen, American, Hawaiian. But once he started working for the Hawaiian government as a judge and he served in the legislature, he took an oath of allegiance to the government, thereby separating himself from being American, now being Hawaiian. Notice how I'm using the word Hawaiian, because we use it wrong today. Hawaiian is a nationality, it's short term for Hawaiian subject. So my great-grandfather, born in Napopo, was a Hawaiian subject, not a native Hawaiian. He was a Hawaiian subject of Aboriginal blood. Okay, that's the native. Now, the other way to acquire citizenship, so you acquire it by birth on the soil, or parentage, or naturalization. During occupations, international law preserves the status quo of the occupied state. What happens is the law prevents people from acquiring the nationality of the occupied state by being born in it. It precludes that. So anybody born in Hawaii is not a Hawaiian subject, right? It also precludes naturalization, because that's not the real government, so they can't naturalize. The only way that you can acquire citizenship is from your parents, called jus sanguinis, parentage. So every Kanaka, every native person, every Aboriginal Hawaiian is automatically a Hawaiian subject. They don't have to trace their genealogy back to someone who was a Hawaiian subject. By the fact that they're a native, they're Hawaiian, right? But they may also be other nationalities as well. When I was in The Hague in the Netherlands, at the World Court, people that were working in the secretariat, the registry of the Permanent Court of Arbitration, one of them had 6 passports. And I said, wow, how did you get 6 passports? Because of parentage. But only 1 passport applied if they voted, and that would be where they resided, where they were domiciled, right? And I was like, gee, I never knew that you could have multiple nationalities, because it's parentage, you're not applying. So for me, I not only am a direct descendant of Aboriginal Hawaiian, who I know are Hawaiian subjects. My great-grandfather, Charles Armistead Reeves, came from Tennessee, Sparta, Tennessee. 1893 he arrived in Hawaii. Married my great-grandmother, the Aboriginal Hawaiian, and here we got the Reeves Ohana. So that means I'm an American by parentage. I'm not an American by birth. Does that make sense? So when I applied, when I had to reapply for my my passport, my American passport. So in 1994, I really didn't know any of this stuff. 1995, I did. The beginning of perfect title deeds. But in 1994, I didn't know. So I applied for a passport. 94, I got it. In 2004, this is already after the Hague proceedings,